let's start this new class. We'll call it compute commission. And I'll use so this method is going to calculate what the commission for you on selling a car. We'll say selling cars. Okay. So let's talk about this. Compute the commission for a sale of a car. We'll talk about cars here. Now I will be using methods here. Now, methods can be used to define reusable code and organize and simplify your code that you're going to be writing there. That's why we use method. Normally a method consists of few parts. One is actually the method header, and that usually has in it the method name, the parameters, and all the stuff that we need to pass back and forth between the main program and the method. So I'll do that in a minute here. I'll show you how, but that's really what the plan of this assignment is. How do we use methods? Now, when you sell a car, now let's begin. Cars can have standard luxury type of cars, have a price on them. So let's define character. Vehicle type. And again, is this a standard? Is it luxury? The luxury one is more expensive than the standard. So for this particular car, we'll say it's a standard car. Nothing really fancy. It has a value, integer. I'm going to make it integer value. When you're dealing with thousands of dollars, what difference? They're not going to say this car is for 40,000, 0.23. So we'll say value of the car. And we'll give it a value here. I don't know. Let's say this car is worth 23,000. You can pick any number you want to. And your commission rate, double. That's a decimal value, like 8%, 5%, 7.5%. I'm going to call this lowercase, maybe commission rate. Abbreviation, commission rate. And let's give it a value of, I don't know, 8%, 0.8. Then you'll sell another car. Different price, maybe 40,000. It's luxury. Then a third car and a fourth car and so forth. So what I'm going to do here is have a method or write a method that will do the calculation for me. So let's go after, write the first curly bracket because that's the beginning of your main program. That's the end of your main program. Let's go after that. And here, let's create the method. Create a method here to print the commission on the sale of a car. That's what this method is going to do. So, well, this method, and I mean, we can set it up different where if you sell a standard, your commission is different than if you sell a luxury car. So for example, for standard, let's do that. For standard, we'll use as standard commission rate is 8%, but double, I mean, we can have fun with it. Luxury commission rate, if you sell a luxury car, that's a 9%. So what the main program has to do is send to this method, send what kind of a car, the type, what is the price of the car, and maybe the rate. I can actually put these two, maybe I'll move these two to the method and let the method do that for me. So maybe I'll do that, yep. So let's begin by defining the method. You define a method by typing the public static, that's your header of the method. And are you going to return anything to the main program? So for this one, I'm not going to return anything. I'm going to have the method, so maybe I'll do that here, explain that more. The method here will display the commission. I can have the main program do it, but I'll start with the method doing that. So if the method going to display the commission, that means the method is not returning anything. So you have to write the word void. That means there is no return for this method. And now we need to give this method a name. Maybe we'll call it compute commission. That's the name of the method, compute commission. And now this method expects two things from me. They expect the main program to send integer, the price of the car. We'll call it price. And the type of the car. Is it a standard? So that's character, C-H-A-R, type. So it's expecting two things to receive from the main program. Is it a standard? Is it a luxury? And what's the price of the car? And this method will take these two numbers, and you'll see, and put them there. Once we have them here, this is the body of your method. Now you're going to start writing what the method's supposed to do. So you know what? Let me cut these and put them in the method here. I don't need them there. Copy, or cut actually, and let's paste them here. Now we're going to check and see if what? If the type of the car is equal to, that's a character, standard, then what's going to happen? The commission, let's define here a new variable to hold the answer for me. Commission is going to be a decimal value here, so double commission. Maybe commission value. The commission value is going to equal to the price of the car times the S commission rate. Else, I'm assuming we only have two types of a car, luxury and standard. Let's assume that's the only two things you have. And you're going to send either S or L. You're not going to type anything else. If that's the case, copy. And that'll be the L here, and I see a mistake there. That should be capital S there. So this will calculate the commission for me. And now let's print the commission because we said this method is going to print. So let's display the commission here. So this section calculates commission. I have an extra calculate commission. So let's display the commission. That's sys-o. And I'll use, here we go, but I'll use the printf to practice. What are we going to print? The commission for the sale of this car, sale of this car is $, and I'm going to put now %. And I'm assuming that's going to be a decimal number. I'm not sure how big that decimal number, so to make sure there's no spaces between the $sign and that, I'm going to put 3.2f. 3.2f, 2 decimal places, and the decimal point, that's 3. So if the number is more than 0, this is not big enough. So the machine will adjust it automatically for me. And go to the next line, comma, and I want to print the commission value. And that's my whole method. There is no return here because I'm not sending anything to the main program. In the next example, you'll see me return a value to the main program. So now if you want this method to calculate what the commission for this, now you have to call it. And how do you call this one? You type in the method name. So here we're going to invoke the method. That means call the method. And to invoke the method, I'm going to type in the method name, which is, I use compute commission. And notice this method expects 2 things from me. The price of the car first, so I got to put the 23,000 first. Then expects a character, which is a standard. Well, in this case, I have the price of the car, so let's put the value of the car, comma, and the vehicle type. And when Java sees this, it sees this line, it stops, it jumps to this one, it sends the value of the car, whatever the value of the car, which is 23,000, puts it in price. It takes the S type, which is the vehicle type S, puts it in this one automatically. So this value, the 23,000, which is right here, will be dropped into this one. And the S value, which is this one, will be dropped right into this one. And this will go through it and calculate. Let's see if it's going to do that. And here's the commission for the sale of this car is. Now, what about if you have another car you're thinking about? Now, I can just go compute commission. And let's say you have a car, this person thinking about a car of 40,000. That's 4 or 40. That's 4. And it's a luxury car. We'll put L. So I can put it directly right there. And again, this will call the method and immediately drop the 40,000 into this one. and the L, which is that's a single character, into this one. That will give me the commission for that car. Now we should see both of them, because that's a luxury car. It costs 10,000 more, and your commission is higher because you get 9% on that one. So that's how really methods work. Short, quick video. Again, this method does not return anything. That's why we have void. Now you're going to see me in the next example return something to the main program.